Sports Day for Kia. The new Kia Niro electric SUV range has landed. And Lumo SA. Aussie owned, made for Adelaide.
Very good evening, KG and Wilds. KG filling in for Malcolm Blight. All thanks to Tyre Power, here to help you stay safe on the road. Buy 3, get 1 free on Toyo tyres. Your trusted tyre experts. That's Tyre Power. So welcome the great man, Kenneth George Cunningham. Hi, Ken.
Hello, Wild. How are you, mate?
Mate, are you over the bays before you were? I've never seen you so disappointed with a game of football and a team's performance.
Well, I expected on Sunday. It was organised. I went home after doing a shift and I had a nice bottle of wine in the fridge, a steak I had put on the barbecue. This will be a crack of a game because they've met a couple of times throughout the year, 4-point victory to the Eagles in the second semi. Lo and behold, I couldn't believe what I saw. It was the Bays were pathetic.
4 goals.
4 goals for the game, but they were insipid, and like 17 straight they won. Then they lose 3 of their next 4. But it wasn't the Bays side that I'd seen play football throughout the year. They just weren't switched on.
2 things to that. Eagles were fantastic.
Oh, no doubt.
They were unbelievable.
I'm glad you said that. I should have said that initially because they were superb.
They kicked 14 to 16 goals, a bit like the AFL Grand Final.
Yep.
I was blown away with how physical they were. They pushed around Glenelg.
They did.
They pushed them around like rag dolls, and they did a job on Curran with Ferns.
Yep, they did.
I thought Sheedy coached really well. Some coaches only got I think they've only got a limited thing to do. Once you get the guys out on the ground, you've got them ready. But on the day, he made a couple of moves, I'm not sure Glenelg were ready for them.
No, but on the other side of the ledger, the players backed their coach. I felt sorry for Brett Hand. Now, okay, he'll cop some flack, but I felt sorry for him because the players just didn't give for him on the day, whereby the Eagles did. And I thought about this over the weekend. Why didn't somebody, when the Eagles kicked that first goal after half-time, because I said at half-time, if the Bays...
About 5 goals got out
Yeah, the Bays have got to kick the first goal. Lo and behold...
Started blue.
Eagles come out, kick the first goal. Why didn't somebody run through somebody? Not elbow him or punch him, but wind him. And get the adrenaline pumping.
Show some presence. But nothing happened. It was like they just succumbed. Yeah, as far as grand finals go, to me it was all... The writing was on the wall pretty well at quarter time.
Oh, well,
Because into the breeze was 5 goals to 1, and Glenelg just... Glenelg actually had a...
15-minute in that first quarter, they controlled the game, but couldn't convert.
And the second quarter, they hung in there.
Yes,
I think there's only 1 goal scored for the quarter.
Yes, exactly.
But... we're all waiting for the big response at half-time, and lo and behold, Eagles kicked the first 3.
Well, those Glenelg players have to live with that now. That'll be a stigma for a long while because that was not a good performance. And unfortunately, we've got to say their record in grand finals has been extremely disappointing over the years.
I'm pretty sure Cornsy's played in 7 losers.
Well, there you go. Poor old Cornsy. I saw him on television. He was shattered.
Yeah, he looked about 10 years older,
mate,
I thought, after that.
But it was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you think? Because here we had the scene set for what should be a cracking game.
If you said that was a blowout or the Eagles win by 12, I'd say you're a lunatic.
Exactly right.
There's no way. I mean, Glenelg have been in every game this year.
Yeah. Mm.
But it's just so sad. The other thing, Cage, you've got to commend I love the umpiring. You really had to earn your free kicks in that. Guys were getting hit hard and the tackling was ferocious.
Terrific. Yeah, it was.
Why is it so different? Why do the umpires so differently at that level to AFL?
Well, because they're coached differently. They're coached in the right way. Like every week we see at the AFL level a different interpretation with holding the ball, holding the man. Then we see the deliberate out of bounds. Every week it's a grey area. In Sanford, it's black and white. Last touch, free kick. They're just coached differently.
I must say I was very impressed, and I was very
so
impressed with the Eagles and their recruiting. They've only missed the finals twice in 20 years. They've won premierships in 2011, back-to-back the last couple. They've been runner-up a couple of times.
Yes.
They've been 3rd and 4th and 5th.
Yep, they've been around the mark every year.
It is an amazing record under Ronnie Fuller, Mickey Godden, and now Jade Sheedy.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
If Port or the Crows were looking for an assistant coach, you could do a lot worse than look in your own backyard, to be quite frank.
He's just signed on for another 3, hasn't he?
Well, he's there for the next 4.
Yeah.
But surely if he was to get an AFL job, if he wanted it...
Cage, I know you were disappointed, but...
No, I wasn't disappointed. I was shattered.
But no one goes out to try and lose like that.
No.
The games get away from. I played in a couple myself where we thought we were right in the game and suddenly got blown away.
Yep.
And you think you're trying as hard as you can.
But it's the subconscious that just takes control. But those players were not prepared. They didn't give the first 15 minutes okay, but they couldn't convert and just fell over.
They won. I've been lucky enough to call all their finals, their 5 flags, but I reckon Sundays was their best. Only in the fact that they beat a very good side all year. Like they were Glenelg were favourite, maybe not a hot favourite.
No, but they were favourite.
But they beat them by 11 goals.
Well, you would have seen Glenelg in finals. How would you rate that performance on Saturday for the Bays?
Poor.
It was poor, and I see people have had a crack at me today saying I've been too harsh on the Bays, but it was insipid.
Oh, I think Glenelg supporters would probably agree wholeheartedly with you.
A couple had a
How
crack
would
at
Peter
me.
Carey feel?
Well,
Nick Chigwidden.
See, that's what I said the other day. Nick Chigwidden, Peter Carey, former players that have helped the club get through tough times financially, done a fantastic job. Don't start.
We've got Matt Rendell on tonight for Trade Radio and Recruiting. I'm gonna ask him, someone like Jack Hayes. Now, I've seen him play 3 or 4 years now.
Yep.
He's 25.
How tall is he? 6 what?
About 6'5".
Yeah, tough.
In the old, he can take a mark. He's
Yes, he can.
versatile. He's mobile.
Played with a broken leg.
But he clearly was best on ground at 3/4 time. Why can't clubs? Why couldn't Adelaide or Port Rookie list him?
I agree. Ask Matty. He'll tell
There's
you.
a couple of players in both sides I think are still good enough to play AFL footy.
And the other thing that disappointed me, Redden in the second semi-final took the Tigers apart in the ruck.
He beat Hanneth.
He beat Hanneth, and I was sitting there watching the game, and Redden doesn't jump. Why didn't the Bay man jump all over him?
Yeah, I think the biggest
was-
disappointment for me was they were bullied. It was like the grade 7s playing the grade 5s.
That's what I just said. Knock one over and
No.
and become the person who does the bullying.
But full marks to Jade Sheedy. He came out with a plan, and Chris Curran's one of the
move,
best intercepting
yep,
defensive
yep.
players in the sample.
That was a great move.
They put Ferns on him.
Yep.
Ferns sacrificed his own game.
Yep.
Curran didn't see the footy.
No, and he's a good
Didn't
player.
take one intercept mark.
No.
Not one, Cage.
No. Oh.
I didn't see Hosey. Didn't see Reynolds. These guys are good players.
Well, that's what I said, Will. That's what I've been saying.
Have your say, as I said, Glenelg fans. They would be. We had a couple yesterday. They were shattered too with their performance. But once again, full marks for the Eagles. They were brilliant. As bad as Glenelg were, they were just as good.
That's as well as I've seen the Eagles play.
Incredible.
In all aspects of the game.
And the biggest improvement for me in the last 5 years with the Eagles, they are now potent scorers. They've got the Menzel boys and Stengel.
And how good were they early, the Menzel boys?
They had 8 of the first 9 goals
See,
they
but,
kicked.
but see, there again, both those boys were hampered with long-term injuries. How did they get
Daniel had 4 knee reconstructions.
I know. But
Great story, though, isn't it?
It's a fabulous story.
Yeah.
But for goodness sake, frustrating.
I'm going to speak to Jimmy Tompus tomorrow night, too. We had him,
He played well.
3rd premiership for him. When he played his first, he'd only played 7 games.
7 games.
Now, he's still only 27.
Unbelievable.
822 have your say.
Yeah, okay, we've got John on the line. Hello, John.
Hello, KG Wilkes.
Hello, Johnny.
Hey, listen, howdy, mate. Hey, listen, fellas. I heard Graham Corn's interview with Barry Robin the other week, the great Barry Robin.
Yep.
He spoke about he's with you, KG, on it's surprisingly it's a cricket point about his cricket.
Yep.
Obviously, he played cricket with Barry Richards, and he rates him the best batsman he's ever seen, and thinks that he basically would be just about the best since Bradman from all comers, from all countries.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the best batsman you've ever seen, Will. Because
Wilkes?
mine's with Richards. With Richards.
As a kid, Johnny, I loved Greg Chappell.
Greg Chappell,
when I was a boy,
beautiful.
Loved watching him play.
Yeah.
Artistic.
Yeah, and then you got
Beautiful player.
a Tendulkar and Lara. I mean, you look at other players. Barry Richards.
What about Viv Richards? Do you rate Viv Richards?
Oh, yeah. Viv, great player.
Hey, John, you don't make 350 in a day.
I know, exactly right.
Mate,
Obviously, he's great. I didn't see him play, KG. I didn't see him play.
I
can't
played that
comment.
game.
I've heard rave reviews.
And I've never
I know you did.
I've never seen a batsman hit Graham McKenzie, Dennis Lilly, Tony Locke, out of the attack. And
Is it true? Is it true? Ian made 100. No one even noticed.
Ian Chappell said,
no one even noticed it.
Ian Chappell said that was one of the best hundreds I've made, and no one even knew he batted.
There's a story about Barry Richards, KG, playing at Prospect Oval against now Kevin McCarthy opened the bowling.
Kevin, yep.
First ball, he hit the hit the scoreboard. Prospect Oval.
Well, mate, he was
first ball.
He was hitting Dennis Lilly off the back foot into the Terry Prindiville stand, and I'm looking and going over my head, thinking this is a joke.
You see that. When I think of all those players, that's Stephen Smith has made the most runs, but I don't put him in the same breath as some of the like Tendulkar, Lara,
Richards is the best player I've ever seen, and what's more, one of the nicest blokes you'd ever wish to meet.
Had a real tragedy. His partner died a few years ago. Like he was travelling the world.
His son passed away early.
Yeah, he's had a couple of real tragedies.
Absolutely, but a lovely man. Absolutely. He was just he came out here to play for South Australia, and you think, Barry Richards, he only played a few Test matches because of the apartheid situation. You think that he would be a little bit aloof, but he just came into the side and was a magical part of it.
The late David Hooks used to always tell the story. What's the difference between Sir Garfield Sobers, Barry Richards, and David Wildy? Sobers won 61 batting. Richards 71. I won 81. I said, but I won it twice, 182 as well. No, Sobers was left-handed. Hooks used to say. Or you said when you won the Shield, you had the best three cricketers in the team. Gary Sobers.
Gary Sobers.
Yeah, Neil Dancy always.
He was three cricketers.
Yeah, best fielder, best bowler.
Favelli used to say, new bowler, Sobey.
Yeah. Let's go to Troy. Hello, Troy.
How you going, boys?
Good, Troy.
Yeah, good on you. Good call on Saturday, Will. I was quite impressed. But
the best caller in South Australia is?
Well, just hold your horses there, young Ken.
Well,
my comment is Jared Leonard, I think, has got a future in radio. I was really impressed with his knowledge and his comments about the game on Saturday.
Yeah, he's good, Troy.
I thought he was really good.
Very good, and it sounds like he's not going to get a contract with Port Adelaide. He said he's in limbo. That was the word.
Is his AFL career over, do you think?
Oh, well, he's only 27, I think.
He can play, Wilds.
He's played 20 or 30 games.
He can play.
He's a good lad.
Yeah.
Good lad. And, he will have a future. But he's too young to be going to the media.
Yeah,
he wants to play footy.
Exactly right.
But he did a good job. Thanks for that, Troy. Hello, Ben.
G'day, boys. How you going?
Good, Ben.
Oh, that's good. I just wanted to speak. Like Jack Hayes, what does he have to do to get a AFL ticket? You know.
Well, that's what David Wildy said a moment ago. We're talking to Matt Randell a little later, and we'll ask him that question.
I've seen a lot of players go around in AFL that aren't anywhere near as talented as he is. They're athletes.
This kid's been a superstar for 2 or 3 years. He's state captain, nearly won the McGarry. Far out. What else does he have to do, to poor fella?
We interviewed him yesterday.
We did.
And we asked him that question, would he like to be. He said, I'd love to have a go. No one's actually approached me yet. I think they may, though, on the back of that. When the whole of the country watches a grand final in isolation, he stood out like a beacon. He was the best player at three-quarter time by 100 miles.
There's no better mark not playing in AFL, you know. Like, his marking is outstanding. It's just, like, his kicking lets him down a bit, but his want and his aggressiveness, and he's nearly got the full package, but for some reason he just keeps getting overlooked and overlooked and overlooked.
Ben, we've got Matt Rendell on after the break. I'll ask him that question about Jack Hayes, because we were saying the same thing, Ken, weren't we?
Exactly.
He seems to be good enough to go to the next level, and he's a mature body. He's a big bugger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and has anyone ever done what he's done? He nearly won the McGarry. Like, is there anyone who's been state captain, won the McGarry and the Jack Odie and the Premiership all in 1 year?
Oh, gee, that's a good question.
And Andrew Jarman, I think, won a Premiership and the McGarry in the year, whether he's state captain, I'm not sure. But
and did he win a Jack Odie?
Yeah,
he did.
Did he win it? Sorry,
a Jack Odie?
Not sure whether Jars has, but he's certainly done the rest of McGarry, the Premiership, and all that.
Exactly right.
Casey, what's our poll today?
Our poll is: will Pete Laddams be at Port Adelaide next season? And have a look at the poll, Wills. Have a look at the poll.
Yes, 42%, no, 58. I'm in the... I don't think he'll be at Port Adelaide. I'm in the majority there too. That's for Keno?
Yes, it is. Look, play Keno for only $1 a game, but gamble responsibly. With a draw every few minutes, Wills, there's always time for a spot of Keno. Play today, but gamble responsibly.
You're a good man, Cage. Coming up on the other side, Matt Rendell, we're talking Trade Radio.
Sports Day for Kia. The new Kia Niro electric SUV range has landed. And Lumo SA. Aussie owned, made for Adelaide. A Continental Tyres AFL Trade Radio update for Continental Tyres. When everything counts, count on Continental.
Yeah, KG and Will's having to get Matt Rendell shortly. His phone is just engaged, but should be there soon. We are talking Trade Radio. The cricketers, what do you make of that? They're going to make a decision end of week.
End of the week on Friday, I think. They're still humming and hawing about... look, I can understand they've been in bubbles for a lot of the time, Wills. A lot of the time they've played a lot of Test cricket and so forth. But gee whiz, we're talking about the Ashes series
They
here.
played 18 tests.
Well, I know.
They've been all around the world. I sort of understand a bit of it, but they do get paid well.
Well, they get paid well, but everybody during this pandemic, in one way or another, has suffered. People have lost their businesses, people have lost their homes, and it's been difficult for everybody. But we're talking about the Ashes series here, and I first of all don't want to see England come here if it's
with a second-rate side.
No, half-baked side. No,
Yeah.
that would be. That would be not right.
$200 million at stake too. Anyhow, we are talking Trade Radio, and the next guest is the best in the business. He recognises talent, KG, I reckon, as good as anyone in Australia.
No one better. No one better. Look at Dangerfield with the hue and cry when he picked him. I tell you, that caused an enormous storm.
Many years ago, KG, we started in the bank on the very first day. He went on to bigger and better things in the VFL.
Well, then what happened to you?
Oh, I'm still here. Working with you, Kay. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Good, David and KG. It's good to hear your voice again. I'm glad you're still doing.
We got to wind him up before the show, Matt. We like a battery, and he lasts about an hour. Then that's it.
Hey, David. I don't know if you remember too the infamous game at Tiverton Oval in the under-19, the bloodbath.
The bloodbath.
It was.
You played in it for North, and I was playing for Eagles, and that bloody little Chris Pelle, he caused a heap of trouble. There was the biggest fight you've ever seen in the under-19s, and he left the field. He had blood all over.
Oh, yeah.
He was a scallywag, he was.
Wouldn't get away with that these days. Hey, Matt, before we look at the draft and talent, and as I said, you recognise as well as anyone, Jack Hayes wins the Jack Oatey medal. We've had a lot of people saying, why can't he get a go as a rookie or somewhere? He's 25, 26, big guy, finds the ball, can take a mark. What do you make of Jack?
No, he's a smart player. Don't be worried about that he's not quick enough. I watched all the finals. I got the digital pass from the Circle and watched them all. So I'm obviously a very happy person. The Eagles won, but he's a really smart forward. I hadn't seen a lot of him play, and he can ruck well. Without seeing him live, it's really hard, but he maybe deserves a chance as a rookie somewhere. Certainly someone who needs who's a bit short on for key forwards, but Stengel as well. He should be getting picked in this draft, I would have thought.
Yeah.
And a bit sad, Daniel Menzel, he was fantastic through the finals, but, his forward knee recos. And his brother should have been a better player. He should still be on the list. He's still a smart player, but he's a bit younger. But, no, they were fantastic, the Eagles, and disappointing the Bays, really, weren't they?
Well, Matt, that was insipid performance by the Bays, and they'd be hurting those players and some of the former players. Matt, can I ask you, you've seen some wonderful talent in your time, but where does young Jason Horne-Francis sit in the talent over the years you've been involved?
It's a very good question, KG. Look, I did a report 2 years ago, in 2019, for the Collingwood Footy Club. I did the futures, and I did a report on this draft coming up now.
Yep.
But they were 16 years old. So I hadn't seen Sam Darcy play, but I had Jason Horne 2, and I had Nick Dacos 1. that was 2 years ago, and he's gone on to bigger and better things, and so has Nick Dacos.
Yes.
But if you want to look back on, say, Dangerfield, who in that draft that year, I would have taken him number 2 behind Cruiser. Cruiser dominated as a ruckman in that draft. I would have taken him too. I think he's probably a better player than Dangerfield at the same age.
Yeah.
I think so. Dangerfield in that year, he played a lot of defence, but he went in on ball for the last 1.5 games, and he absolutely destroyed it. So you knew he was going to be a good on ball. And Jason always played against senior players for 2 years, and played as a forward as well. He's got genuine speed. It's sometimes hard to pick up, but he has got genuine speed. His handball and decision-making was elite at that level, and he's an 18-year-old. He just looked a class above. And we know he can kick a goal and mark the ball, and he's as tough as teak. I would say probably right here, right now, he's a better player than Dangerfield at 18.
Yeah.
Or, in the draft year from back there, and they're a very similar player. Fife was, I know he loves comparing himself to Fife, but Fife was playing as basically as a forward, didn't run much, but unbeknownst to us, they sort of half hit him free. He could run. He was a great runner, but no one knew. But he could mark the ball in the forward line, kick a goal. So it's a great comparison between those three.
I thought
you would
Matt,
have him right up with those other two, and they won Brownlows.
Exactly.
Matt,
right.
what about a young Buckley? He was explosive at that age and could do all the things, take a mark, get out of, run hard. Was he? I think he's a little bit like a Nathan Buckley.
He was a star, and he came in the year after I left Brisbane back in '93, and he was a star, but he was more of a midfielder. So the three blokes we're talking about, they could all go forward and play like a key forward. I mean, you've got to put because they can mark the ball so well. That wasn't Buck's go. He's going to play, run around the ground and play as a midfielder. So more strings to their bow than Bucks, but Bucks was a superstar, right through his career.
Matty, what about Peter Laddams? He's made the point he wants to look around to get more time with the club playing on ball. Peter Laddams, how do you see his chances?
Yeah, look, he's got a little bit of dough on his contract in the last year. I can understand what he's thinking. Lycett's going to play there.
Yep.
He's been playing forward and playing second ruck. He want to go to a club where he knows he's going to play as a first ruck, and probably it's Geelong.
Yep.
I don't see. There's not a heap of options. Maybe even the Hawthorn, if he, with Segler going, McAvoy at 33, 34. They got a young kid called Ned Reeves. I don't think he's ready yet, Ned Reeves. So Hawthorn would be a good fit for him. So he's in contract. So it depends how badly Port Adelaide want to move him on.
Yeah.
That's the key.
The key to it, yep.
And I think next year, and I can see what Port are thinking, and I can see what Laddams is thinking, to tell the truth. So, you got Dixon. You're going to play Georgiades every day of the week.
Yep.
As number 2, and probably your third is Marshall. So I don't think they can play the 4 up there. And they didn't in that final, mainly because Georgiades wasn't right. But next year, assume they're all fit, I think Laddams misses out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair cool.
And Dixon's got a ruck, so he's reading the play beautifully here because he knows they're going to play Georgiades and probably Marshall in front of him.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, it's taken Ned McHenry and Chase Jones to finally show they were something. They both had pretty good back ends of the year. You would have seen a little bit of Pedler, Berry and Cook. They were and of course Phil Thorpe. Do you see those guys going up? It takes a couple of years before you can make your mark. But do you like what you saw?
Very, very, very impressed with Chase Jones. That move to the back line, I mean, that can help some people big time, but that move to the back line has been great. I can't see Luke Brown getting his position back next year. I think Chase Jones will play. Although Chase Jones could move up into the midfield, and gives them more depth through the midfield and gives them some serious run. He's got plenty of grunt about him as well, I reckon. I know the recruiting team was much maligned because they were worried about him, but gee, he looks like he's going to be a star. Schoenberg, I love him there too in the midfield. I can't believe he didn't finish in the first six in Bess and Ferris. I watched all those Crows games for my job with Footy SA. I can't believe he didn't finish in the top six.
Yeah.
Pedler, really enjoyed his 4 or 5 games he played there, as well as Cook, so I can see where the talent is there. Tilthorpe's going to be a star. They've got some great young kids going through, and I'm missing one. I think you said another one, and I can't think off the top
Young
of my head.
Pedler?
No, Sam Berry.
No,
Berry.
Oh, Berry. Look, Berry's an inside mid when he was playing at Gippsland Power, and they really didn't have... They couldn't really fit him in the midfield, so they will play a half forward. And he did a really good job, but he's really an inside mid, so they've got some options there for next year. Pedler and Cook, I think, can play elsewhere, but Berry's more suited to that. So they've got some really good options, and they've already won the draft this year, or the trade period this year, by getting...
Dawson.
No, well, they're going to get Dawson. Darren Burgess.
Yeah.
I think the fitness bloke did a really good job. I love the way they played, and they looked like they were on top of the ground. So I hope he gets a gig somewhere. He did a really good job. But Darren Burgess is next level genius with this stuff. And you saw Melbourne this year in the grand final. They could have played again, that whole game against Melbourne. That's how so that is one of the great gets of the trade period.
Wow. It's a big rap.
And the players who'll benefit most will be Rowie, I think, and certainly Fogarty and Himmelberg.
Yeah.
I think those 3 are the blokes who'll benefit most. I think Salem and Petrarca benefited most from Burgess at Melbourne.
Yeah, good point. Matty, what about Jordan Dawson? How well do you...
worth?
Yeah, what's he worth?
Oh, look, he's probably worth more than the 23, which they've got at the moment.
Yep.
And they'll try and push up Crows. I think there's a bit going on around Bulldogs pick 17. They would love to get over the 17, and I think that'll get it done. Speaking to a few people in the business, they think he's a low first-round pick. 23 is probably a bit
bit high?
Too low.
Low, yeah.
The fact of the matter is I've listened to the Swans people say, we offered him this contract and he's done this and finished third the best. But it's totally irrelevant, fellas. What he's done and everything, he's out of contract and he wants to come back home. It's totally irrelevant what you've offered him. He finished third the best at first. It's ridiculous. So I don't want to hear any more of that rubbish out of the Swans. Because if you get too narky, they'll just say, stuff yous, we'll walk you through to the pre-season.
Yeah.
And they'll get him.
Beautiful. Yeah. I love that.
Matt, thanks for that. We might even have a chat as we get close with all the draft.
Yeah, love to, Matt.
But great to speak with you as always.
No worries, fellas. Much appreciated.
Good on you, Matt.
Randall knows. What about when you talk? Oh, yeah, he's picked 23. We know this. They're the 3 we spoke about.
Oh, he knows everything.
I saw Pedler's couple of games.
I know.
Berry, they played him on the half-forward.
The amount of work that he must do.
Very clever.
Very, very, very thorough.
What about his description of Chase Jones? Could be a star.
Ooh, that's a big rap. Big rap. And, Darren Burgess.
And his back end of the year was good. I tend to agree. I thought Schomburg could have been in the top 6 or 7. 6. He had a terrific year, didn't he, the young fella?
He did, yep. And a nice kid, too. Great kid.
All that for Trade Radio. And Weeks Homes Discover Different. We don't replicate. We create homes that transform lives. Still got Tuesday, true or false. But our poll, will Pete Ladhams be at Port next season? Yes, 42, no, 58. And he was saying he's got to go to a club where he's going to be the first ruckman.
Ebb Geelong or Hawthorn, I think he mentioned. But I love the way that he had a crack at Sydney. Don't give me this, what you've offered him.
With Dawson?
With Dawson.
Yeah. We've offered him 500,000
so
for...
what?
He's not going to be there. You can offer him what you like, couldn't you?
Yeah, no nonsense.
But it does sound like he's worth a bit more than 23.
Well, Matt Randall
so somewhere
said
between
that.
17 and...
Well, they're trying to get pick 17 off the Bulldogs to give them as well. So
they won't let this one go, Cage. It might draw down to the...
He's a very good player, Wilds. Unless I'm a very ordinary judge, and that could be the case.
I must admit, though, up until this year, I hadn't noticed him much.
Left footer.
Oh, yeah, we had a good year. But they've had a lot of kids. I think Dylan Stevens, the other one, young lad from Nord, he's struggling to get a game. I thought they might have tried to get him home.
What about the rap on the South Adelaide boy? As good as Danger, or better than Dangerfield at 18?
Yeah, well, Dangerfield was a bit of a... Matt Rendell identified him, but he's a bit of a bolter. Like he played played in the back line, but he said this kid could be massive. And he wanted him to go before Brad Ebert. Remember, there's the same draft.
Same.
But
and all hell broke loose. Well, we was doing the outside broadcast when they brought up Dangerfield over young Brad.
Remember we called the game in Dubai.
Yeah.
And Paddy Dangerfield came as a young kid still going to school.
Exactly.
I think they played Collingwood over there, didn't
Collingwood,
they?
yep.
And but everyone said this guy's going to be. He just got better. He took a few years though.
He did.
It took 3 or 4 years before he became an.
Oh, yeah, that was a fascinating chat with Matt.
Yeah, we might get him on again. I think before.
Yeah, my word.
Exactly. We're going to take a break. On the other side, we've got Tuesday's True or False. Always enjoy that. And we're going to review Collingwood season. KG with Worlds.
Might be hard.
When you need tyres, ask for Continental. Continental-tyres.com.au. Sports Day for Kia. The new Kia Niro electric SUV range has landed. And Lumo SA. Aussie owned, made for Adelaide.
Welcome back to Sports Day SA. David Wildy and KG. For weeks, discover exceptional customer service. Weeks homes discover different. KG, time now for Tuesday's True or False.
I love this. I love it.
All thanks to Mildura Regional Development. Start your journey with us by visiting mildura.com.au. Something always happens, and it's wonderful when you visit Mildura. Okay, you can start, KG.
I can
Tuesday,
start.
True or false? Yeah.
Okay, true or false? Jamie Carr retires as a jockey to pursue an equestrian event.
Oh, given what she's been put through,
True or false?
No, I think the lure of riding again, and she was at top of her game. She's arguably as good as anyone in Australia. But
True or false? It's like drawing teeth.
False.
True or false?
False.
Thank you very much.
True or false?
Yes.
KG, your criticism of the Glenelg Football Club's grand final performance was way over the top.
Absolute false. It was dead set accurate. Insipid. I'll say it again. Terrible. Disappointing.
Okay.
Pathetic.
I think we understand where you're going there.
Thank you. Okay. Righto. Adelaide Crows will give Matthew Nix, their coach, a 3-year coaching extension. True or false?
False. I reckon they'll give him 2 more.
2 more.
Yeah, 2 more plus the one they've got. So there's 3.
He's got 1 to go.
Yeah, I reckon 3's too many. He's already got 1 to go. Another 2, then they can renegotiate. And my next question's sort of on the back of that.
Okay, righto.
KG, true or false?
Yes.
Within 2 years, the Crows will pass Port Adelaide as the number 1 team in town. Within 2 years.
True.
Yeah, I think it may be too.
True.
Port have been up for a long while.
Yes, they have.
And I think they've got 1 more real crack at it.
Which is next year.
Yes.
Then
and I think Adelaide will make headway again.
On the way up Adelaide.
Okay.
Oh, very good one, Wills.
You like that, did you?
Okay, yeah, very good one. Peter Laddams will be at Port Adelaide in 2022. True or false?
No, I think that is false. I think he'll be gone. He'll go somewhere. That was our poll tonight too.
Oh, was it?
So, no, I think when the club starts shopping you around or saying, hey, go and look at other options, I think Port just like to get a nice pick for Peter, and there'll be a few clubs after him too.
So that's true. Okay.
And one more for you.
Righto.
True or false? The Jack Oatey medalist, Jack Hayes, is good enough to play AFL footy.
Absolute true. Surprised that it hasn't happened. Like, to do what he did on Sunday was unbelievable, almost with a broken leg. There's another example of what I'm saying.
Well, he's been good for a while, Cage.
He has.
I'm
Powell
surprised.
and McGarry.
Let's say I think he's a fraction slow. I'm not sure what's the
Big
knock on
man.
him. Yeah.
Real big man.
He can play in a number of positions.
No, dead set true.
All right, Cage, I've got one more for you.
Righto.
Will Sam Powell-Pepper be at Port Adelaide next year?
Oh, that's a good one. Will Powell-Pepper.
You do a blind and say true-ish, or...
No, I'll give you an answer. True. He'll be at Port Adelaide next year.
Yeah. I think they can still do with him.
He's tough.
He made the best 22.
He's
or
not
23.
polished, but he's tough and hard, and you need that. That's for sure. Okay, Steve Smith will be the next captain of the Australian cricket team. True or false?
Gee.
That's not hard. Not hard.
It's not hard.
Not hard at all.
Well, there's no one else.
Either true or false.
True. There's no one pushing up the line. I always thought Alex Carey might be around the mark. Lavishane's not ready.
Correct.
Cummins, you don't like a fast bowler's captain
No,
there?
I don't like it one bit.
No, Steve Smith, he'll hold his place as a batsman, so true.
True. There you go.
Well done, KG. Well done. All that for Lumo. SA, Aussie-owned with energy plans and great local rewards made for Adelaide.
Sports Day for Kia. The new Kia Niro electric SUV range has landed. And Lumo SA, Aussie-owned, made for Adelaide.
KG and Will's Sports Day SA for Weeks. Discover how we're delivering higher standard of design and build quality. Weeks Homes. Discover different. Cage, before we go to our season review of Collingwood, which was a bit of a debacle in itself.
Bit of debacle. It was disastrous.
Want to play a grab from Charlie Gardner, footy manager at Sydney Swans, and the interest or possible interest in Pete Laddams.
We certainly asked about Peter last year when we were on the lookout for a ruckman, and we ultimately secured Tom Hickey, who's been excellent for us and had a super year. We've also got Cal Sinclair on our list as well. So, you know, we're not in that same situation as we were 12 months ago, but certainly Peter's management has reached out to our list management team off the back of our interest last year. So, you know, that's one we consider, but, you know, I think that's a fair bit to play out in that one, and, you know, we'll just see how it goes.
They're just playing that down. I reckon there'll be...
They want him.
Yeah, there'll be some action there for Pete Laddams to go to Sydney.
It's funny when you bring someone to your club saying, oh, yeah, we're not sure if we want him. But then they lose Dawson. Oh, he's the best player in the comp. We want plenty for him. Mind you, Adelaide tried to play hardball with Brad Crouch, didn't they? When he left?
They did.
And only got picked 22 or something for him.
So what would you give for Dawson?
I think the second. I think the pick 23 and maybe.
Well, they're not going to accept that.
Maybe a third round upgrade somewhere there.
Would that be big enough? Do you think?
Well, up until this year, you wouldn't have said Dawson was a star. Would you?
We know, but you've got to go on this year. He finished third in their best and fairest, and they had a very good year. And he is a very good player. There's no doubt about that. Left footer, long kick.
Yeah, I don't believe he's better than Chera, though. If I had the pick of the two, I'd go Chera, young lad.
Well, I haven't seen as much of him.
Freo, good player.
Yeah.
All right, Cage, a season review. Collingwood for the all-new Kia Niro electric SUV range. Now it's available as a hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and full electric. This was disastrous.
Absolutely.
From pre-season when they let go Treloar and Stevenson because of salary cap issues.
And the accusations of people not being truthful with why they let them go and did this and did that. Then the Indigenous drama, all hell broke loose there.
Could you have had a worse year?
No, you couldn't. Eddie Maguire stepping down.
Nathan Buckley mid-year.
Buckley mid-year. It all exploded. And, you know, when you look at what they did on the field, it was not much better.
That was awful.
Well, terrible year. Now, McRae, who's just been appointed as their new coach, that's going to be a huge challenge. He comes with some good backing, but that's going to be a huge challenge.
Won't be easy at Collingwood, will it?
No, because you know what they're like, Collingwood. They expect the world.
Yeah. Board upheaval as well?
Board upheaval.
What else could go wrong?
Well, nothing. The club exploded.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I felt sorry for Buckley when
So did I.
But he knew he was a dead man walking, so he left basically on his own terms, didn't
exactly. But you're right. But they are they are the greatest underachiever. Everybody says, "Oh, Collingwood are a wonderful AFL club." They may well be, but their performances on the ground don't strengthen that case.
No, they weren't good. The good positive news today: Scotty Pendlebury is going up for 2 more years. He's arguably their best player. With Buckley, I reckon he's almost in history. There's not too many better.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Absolutely.
They'll pick up Darcy Moore again next year. Missed the last 8 or 10 weeks. Wonderful player.
Absolutely. The kid I love is the kid who came second in their best and fairest. I'd love to get him.
Braden Maynard?
Oh,
yeah.
I would love to get him. I'd love to get him for Adelaide.
I think Adelaide's interest probably upped his ante when he renegotiated the contract.
He's a tough nut.
They'll get back. Taylor Adams missed a lot of footy. Jeremy Howe. And they're going to get young Dacos.
Well,
apparently
big raps about him.
Good.
Young, it's Nick Dacos. Yeah,
they got Josh there already.
Well, if he's anywhere as good as his father, he'll be a wonderful player for them.
Yeah, Jack Crisp won the BNF. Maynard came second to Goey fourth.
Did he? Yeah, I love Maynard. He just gets in and goes. Bang, bang, bang.
Only good news for Collingwood, it can't get any worse. Can it?
Yeah, it can't.
I mean, fancy giving. They were forced to let go Treloar and
Trelaw and who?
Stevenson. And Phillips was the other one, the winger.
Yeah, there were three of them, and it was the stuff up with the salary cap. But the sad thing about it was there was accusations that the players weren't told, you know.
They tried to make out that Trelaw wasn't a popular guy. All sorts of excuses.
Well, exactly right. Exactly.
And he nearly played in a winning grand final.
Yep, came very close.
Well, for 2.5 quarters he did, didn't he?
He did, yeah, exactly.
KG, that's it for us. We'll do it all again tomorrow between 6 and 7.
I've enjoyed that, Wilds.
Bye for now.
Sports Day for Kia. The new Kia Niro electric SUV range has landed. And Lumo SA. Aussie owned, made for Adelaide.